What's up? What's up? What's up, everybody? I hope you are having a good, what is today? I think it's Thursday. A good Thursday. A good Thursday. And I hope the starting of your spring is going fantastic because I know mine's is. This winter, I was so happy for winter to be over with because winter was beating my ass. And now it's spring, it's new beginnings, new times, and it's just great. But I wanted to share an experience with you all that happened actually just now. And I feel like it'll help a lot of people. But we finna get into this. So today, yeah, that's right, because it is my day off. It's a Thursday. Okay. So today, woke up, got some sleep, things were on my mind. And I've kind of been like having this, I don't know, this little battle with myself where it's like it's my day off. So sometimes I will go out and hustle, you know what I mean? Be it Uber, or just do whatever, your day off. So you'll probably make some extra cash or whatever, right? But lately, it's just been, I guess you can say, I don't know, my inner world has just been telling me like, bruh, like stay home or relax or whatever it is. And I've been kind of getting that. And so it's like when I get off of work, usually I would want to go probably do Uber or something else. And I would get this feeling like, bro, you need to just stay home or go home, relax, enjoy your time. And so one experience, my girlfriend, it was her last day of vacation. So I had just got off work and I was going to go do Uber. But it was just like, again, go home, relax, spend time with your girlfriend. Like, you don't need to be worrying about money right now. And I chose not to. Let me say that I chose not to worry about money or stress about it. And things have just been working out, right? So I've learned that in these moments, instead of always going out and hustle, I've come to find myself like I'm getting other experiences that I need. So it's kind of like that soul food. You know what I mean? Like, it's just been nourishing like my soul and spirit. So it's just like either quality time with loved ones or things like that, right? And so this is just kind of what I've been getting, and I haven't been fighting it. Usually I would fight it, and I think some of y'all can relate when y'all fight that either intuition or when, people say something told me I should have did something and then something happens. Yeah, I don't have my ass beat enough times to know when that something say something, I'm finna just listen because I don't want my ass beat. So that's kind of what's been happening, right? So moving forward to what happened recently is I woke up and I was going to go do Uber after I ran an errand for my grandmother, but that wasn't the case. I was feeling like I need to go out in nature, right? And so this is big. For some of y'all who don't go out in nature, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's a free therapist. I promise you. It's therapy for you. It will do so much for you than words can express. But take a sit back and you'll see what I'm talking about. So I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do Uber. I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna go out because I felt like the more I listened, something was like, you need to get recalibrated. Like, I just felt like I was not myself, and I just felt like something was a bit off. And so, mind you, it is raining. Like, it was, well, not no more, but it was raining pretty hard. That's my favorite weather. I usually prefer to be inside, but something was just like, no. So I knew there was a particular nature park around my area that was calling me. Mind you, those clouds are just as dark as they can be. And I'm heading in the direction of these clouds. I could have went further north and, where the clouds were nice and clear, but I just kept getting this calling like, no, you need to go over here. So I went to this nature park. It was like, when I say raining so hard to get there, it literally was like I could barely see the cars in front of me, right? But I'm okay. We from Florida. We drive through that. That's nothing for us, okay? If it ain't a hurricane, that's nothing for us, right? Okay. So I get there. I get to this park, and the clouds started to clear up a bit. And so I get in the car, and I was about to get out the car. Then it just rained. I was like, okay, I'm going to get back in. And then after that, I was just kind of just sitting there and just really just vibing. I was like, well, I can meditate in a car, but I just felt like, no, I need to go outside in nature. I need to listen to the wind. I need to talk to myself. I need to listen to the spirits. I need to just let nature talk to me. And so I was just like, all right, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. So it stopped raining for a bit, changed my shoes, put on my jacket. I was going to leave my phone in there, but I didn't know how long this was going to be. And just in case your boy's seeing a whole bobcat out there, I may need to call somebody. Normally I don't, but just set, you know what I mean? We're in 2022, you know what I mean? I don't know what can happen nowadays. Anyways, so I go out into nature and it felt so good. Like the minute I went like through the trail and it started to rain again. And I was under the trees for a little bit looking at the water. Cause in this nature park it's huge. Like you can be out there for about 2 hours or so plus. And, yeah, it's huge. So I was looking at the waterfall down. It was like an open field, open prairie, whatever. And then it was just like Earth was just saying like, hey, you need to go deeper into the woods. And I was just like, I'm feeling that. So we're going to go deeper into the woods. So I go and then it just starts to rain some more. And I was like, a part of me was like, I kind of want to turn back because I'm getting wet. But something was like, no, you need to go further into the woods. And so I'm just going deeper. I'm just getting soaked. And after a while, I just felt good. I was just like, this feels good, you know? And the best way I can describe it to you guys is like, I felt like I was being cleansed. It felt like a spiritual cleanse happening. And like nature was just speaking to me. And I was just kind of like thinking and just like talking, just tell myself like, you know, what's going on? Like, what am I feeling? Things like that. And I can just, you know, feel it, like nature just speaking to me. And some of you may ask, well, what do you mean by you feel like nature just speaks to you? Like, what does that sound like? You know, because some of y'all may experience that. The best way I can describe it is like, you have your thoughts, right? You know how you sound. And I'm sorry for some of y'all who don't hear y'all thoughts. So this may sound weird to you. And yes, there are some people who don't have like internal dialogue, but for some of y'all who do, you have your thoughts, so you know how you sound. The best way I can describe it is like when I go out in nature and I just kind of like surrender and just like listen, it's kind of like a soft voice just flows into it flows into my head. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, it feels as though when I'm thinking, I'm producing thoughts from like the center of my head versus when I let nature speak to me, it just feels like, I don't know, voices coming to my head from different directions, and it sounds subtle or it sounds soft. That's the best way I can describe it to you guys. So that's how I know the difference between me and, you know, nature. For some of y'all who like, man, this guy is crazy. All I'm saying is that's how crazy, you know, crazy people, they get things done. That's all I'm going to say. And if you don't talk to yourself, I don't know what to tell you. Like, you're missing out on so much. Anyways, so I go, after I'm just asking myself questions, I just hear, you know, nature just telling me just stuff like, you know, this is what you're feeling. And it just kind of related to like just your boy and his spiritual practices and, you know, just listening to my ancestors and all of that. And it was just basically my ancestors had their time. And all of their knowledge and things are within me. And it's like, now it's your time. You know what I mean? Like, they're still with you, but like, it is your time right now. So you're in charge. You're leading this. You're creating your own path. And some things that I wanted to like master, just kind of like, you know, holidays, traditions, just things that's just been kind of passed down in my family that I've learned that I kind of wanted to like master. And they were just like, it wasn't meant for you to master. Like, the traditions and things got you to this point to introduce you into more things about yourself, but it was never for you to master. You know what I mean? It was those things to add on to who you are, to what you're here to do. So I was like, okay, you know, cool. And so one of the things is when I was just kind of out there, I'll say, just, for protection of my own family, there were, we'll say, spiritual tools passed down, we can say, to myself. And one of those sacrifices was that I had to do. So it was a sacrifice of like, you have to let this go. So let this tool go, give back to nature and things like that. And welcome in what you need for yourself. It's the springtime. It's new beginnings. Let go of old stuff. Make room for new things. Y'all get the gist of that. So I did it. Mind you, it is pouring down, raining, right? Like I just took my hood down. I just let my hair get wet. I'm just walking. It was a couple of boardwalks. I let this tool go. It felt kind of weird. And I just continued walking. And so the best way I can describe it, guys, I got deeper into the forest. And I don't know if any of you guys ever watched Avatar: The Last Airbender. There is a scene where Aang had to fight he had to fight before he fought the Fire Lord or whatever. He got into this trance, and he just got, like, he was in his sleep. He got woken up out of his sleep in a trance and just ended up on this huge lion turtle. If y'all have no idea what I'm talking about, just bear with me. Anyways, as I'm going deeper into this forest, I feel like I'm getting in this trance state, right? I just feel like I need to keep walking. And I'm a person who's very in touch with like the spiritual world. So I can kind of sense, I can sense spirit. I can see things and stuff like that. And I was just getting like walking. And then it was just questions that I was getting, like, who are you? And it was so many things that came to mind of like, who am I? I'm like, well, there's so many things. Like, what do you want me to say? And it was just like, who are you? And I'm like, Thaddeus, but I'm like, that's not what you're wanting. You know what I mean? And it was just like, I really had to really get in touch with who I am. You know what I mean? Like, basically that divinity, that we all have within us, really getting more in touch with that, and not necessarily like, oh, okay, I can tap into it. And it's more like when you tap in, it's like, okay, you tapping in, but your ass for to tap out. And it's just like, no, nigga, you need to stay in. And so that's what was kind of happening, is like, I can tap into these states, but it's just like, this is who you are. It ain't no turning on and turning off. You need to get here, claim this, be this, walk as this, and move forward. And so again, I'm going to kind of say this too, for some of you guys who are new to like the podcast, the whole thing is about connecting, be it yourself and be it others. And this is more so on like a bit of like that personal, earthly, yet spiritual, your journey, right? We all are on our own journey. You know what I mean? Some of it may be more earthly than spiritual. Some of it may be more spiritual than earthly, or it could be a combination of both, right? So I'm just kind of letting you guys get a peek into like kind of like my own journey. And some of you might be able to relate when you do your own thing, be it when you go out. Probably your thing could be when you go out in the city and you walk around, like you get this sense of something, you feel more connected to yourself. Some of you, it may be when, hell, you get away from everybody, you can breathe and you feel yourself. Or it could be when you're in a crowd full of people or with a bunch of people you love and you feel like, this is where I belong. You know what I mean? And so we all have our journey, and, we're all into different things. So continuing where this was, like, just going deeper into that journey, I just really had to stay within my own divinity. And it was just like, in doing that, I felt awake. That's the best way I can describe it. It's just like these past 29 years, I've kind of been in and out of sleep, but now it's like, oh, okay, I'm awake now. I see, why I was doing this way and why I was not. I feel, I was starting to feel more fulfilled. I was feeling more, not saying that I lack confidence, because I'm a very confident person, but I felt more confident in a sense of like myself. And I understood that what the universe has been trying to get me to do is like, you really need to be like, the universe is like, bro, we need this. We need what you got. You need to bring this out. Like, not on no part-time shit. We need this full-time. You know what I mean? And I feel like some of you guys can relate to that calling or that feeling in some way or some form, where you feel as though the world or someone or something needs this, something that you bring to the table, whatever that is, be it your art, be it your mind, be it whatever it is that you create, be it your ideas, your dreams, you know what I mean? Like something, someone, or universe, God, whatever works for you, is trying to get that out of you so you to live into that, to be into that, right? And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, and I feel like y'all can relate to this too. Life be beating our asses. Life be doing a bunch of different things to us. Like, we forget to live in that divinity. We forget to live in that self. We got bills to pay. We got responsibilities. We got a plethora of things. And sometimes that divinity, that something, that who we are kind of gets diminished, in the process. Or as I say, it gets lost in the sauce, but it happens. And it's like, it's sometimes easier to let that who you are, that divinity, go and like try to deal with the stuff you have going on versus standing your ground and like, no, this is who I am and this is where I'm going to operate from. And one of the things I've been learning as well is like everything is a choice, and those choices are based off either fear or freedom. And that's a whole nother talk, but did you get what I'm saying? And so it's just kind of like, it comes down to a choice. And when you get past like I'm gonna say not even excuses, but the fears that arises, and you make that choice, and then you start to operate from the choice you made, you start to see things a bit differently. And so deep into the woods, I had to make that choice of like, I'm going to stay in who I am. I don't understand it all just yet. Some of it is a little weird to me, but I made this choice and I'm going to do it. And so I'm now going to change my state of being into this divinity, this who I am. And I've come to find, guys, lately, like a lot of things really will change when you change your state of being. And what I mean by that, in a way that some of you probably can get, is like, are you guys in a state of, we'll say, hustle, right? I know I've talked with a lot of people, they say I'm just hustling, I'm hustling. It's just like, depending on the state of being you're at, you're going to constantly, I'm going to say, attract life scenarios or opportunities, whatever it is. You're going to constantly attract things that's going to keep you in that hustling state, right? So be it if you getting this, you're getting that, but you're constantly having to hustle, right? When are you going to, get a break? You know what I mean? Now, if you like hustling and that's your thing, by all means, do it. Another thing I'm going to say is survival. I was actually just talking with a friend about this. If you're in a constant state of survival, you're going to constantly be getting things or life experiences, scenarios, whatever it is, to keep you in that state of survival, right? And so I've just come to find is like, you really have to change your state of being. Like, you really have to ask yourself, like, what is it that I want to be, right? So I'm tired of surviving, or I'm tired of hustling. I choose to be happy, or I choose to thrive. And you'll come to find like the answer is very simple, but when you comb through all of that stuff, I'll probably do an episode on that just to not make this so long. But changing your state of being, right? So that's very important. So that's what I had to do, like at this park, changing the state of being. That's who I'm going to be. And so I walked out the park and I'm like, not the park, but the woods. I walked out and I'm like, okay, this is making sense. And as I'm walking, getting closer to the car, because the car was very far. This literally turned into a 2-hour thing, and I literally lost track of time. I started to like walk, as the best way I could say, as myself. I started to walk with this sense of knowing who I am. I started to think differently, feel differently, and it was just an amazing experience. And I'm glad that I listened to that feeling, because if I was to ignore it and I would have done Uber or whatever, I wouldn't have had this experience. And shit, the next time I would have been off, I probably wouldn't have wanted to do it. But it's just like, when you take a moment to really like listen to what you really need from your inner world, and it can be hard, be it, again, we all have responsibilities, but it's not impossible. It doesn't have to be 2 hours like I did, but it could be a time that you can afford. Instead of going here and working or hustling, take that time off for yourself, or take a break. Do something that you need to do for yourself, because at the end of the day, if you're not here, whatever it is you got going on ain't gonna get done. And people say that, but I've come to find, like, it can be very hard to take those breaks, because there's so many things coming your head of, I got to do this, I got to do that. But I've come to learn, you're going to always have shit to do. Even when things are when things are great and just beautiful, you're going to always have things to do, no matter what it is. And I've just come to find, it's just like, at some point, you just got to start choosing yourself. Like, you know what? This going to get done when it needs to get done, but right now I'm going to take this time for myself. And I come to find that when you do that, it's like the universe, the world will just kind of like make things work out for you to be able to enjoy yourself and get what you need. You know what I mean? But this was the experience that I received just by listening and going out into nature. And it's kind of funny. I got all of that by just taking a walk in nature. And it's just like, this was just my experience. So you can imagine if you were to go out there, you can go out there by yourself. I personally like to go out by myself. But if you're going with someone, I'd recommend like, hey, like, okay, we finna go out here. We can walk, but we don't got to necessarily talk to each other. Like, however you got to do it. And maybe that's just me. I'm just like I prefer to go out by myself, or if I go with somebody, like we may talk. It may be like a we need to talk type of thing. But if not, it's like, I'm going to go out here and we don't have to talk, but we can enjoy each other's company while we receive what we need to receive. And it doesn't have to be a crazy park like I went to. I keep saying park. It doesn't have to be a crazy spot like I went to. But I'm just saying, take some time to go back to your home. Go back out into nature. We're always either in the house or working or doing this, that, and the other. Like, it's good to just go back out, soak in some fresh air, see, just the different colors, just soak in and just hear those different sounds than, people, computers, cars, da-da-da-da-da. But that was my experience, guys. I just wanted to share it because it was just something that I chose to do to connect with myself today. And I'm just going to leave this with you is, what is it that you're going to do either today or right after you listen to this podcast, or tomorrow? What is it that you're going to do today for yourself? What is it that you're going to choose to do for yourself, just when the time comes or whenever you feel it? Or another question is, when are you going to go out into nature for yourself and receive what it is that you need to receive? And with that being said, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for pressing play, and I look forward to speaking with you all soon. Later.